Ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dan, and today we're going to be looking at something which I find absolutely hysterical. So if you remember, a couple of years ago, we actually covered the Flash movie and obviously the whole Ezra Miller situation. And to be honest with you, the guy should never have been allowed to star in the Flash after what they did. But Andy Muschietti, the director of the Flash, he's come out now again trying to defend the movie. And as you can see, this is what he's saying. Andy Muschietti says the Flash got hate from people who didn't see it and like to talk shit. Well, sorry Andy Muschietti, I saw it and it is absolutely dog poo. It's one of the worst films that I have seen in the superhero genre, and that's sad to say because Michael Keaton is my Batman. Don't get me wrong, seeing him back on screen was cool, seeing the '89 Batmobile was amazing. But when you go out there and you make a film with terrible CGI, an absolutely stupid story, and when your main cast includes someone who was being done for a lot of other horrible things, but you keep that cast member there, this is why the film failed, and it failed miserably, mate. So Andy Muschietti, the filmmaker behind The Flash, is opening up about the rough reception his superhero movie faced. Despite early hype, yeah, you had James Gunn, you had Tom Cruise, all these people. Oh yeah, it's the best superhero movie ever. It's one of the greatest things ever. They're just licking balls. And obviously with James Gunn, we know why, because obviously he was just about to take it over. And, you know, the DCEU film ended up struggling both with critics and at the box office. So when asked by the playlist if the backlash had shaken his confidence, he said, "No. We just moved on and understood that sometimes there's a headwind in a project that you had dedicated a lot of work to, and we're very proud of it. I think it's a good movie." Yeah, you would say that because you made it. The story could have been done better. The special effects could have been 100 times better. They seem like pre-rendered PlayStation 3 graphics. What the hell? You know? And it's the way he goes on about that as well in the moment. But the director believes part of the problem came down to people judging it without even watching it. No. A lot of people did not see it, but you know how things are these days. People don't see things, but they like to talk shit about it, and they like to jump on bandwagons. They don't really know. People are angry for reasons that are unrelated to these things. No, I saw it. And a lot of the people who gave it a bad review, they saw it. Because we all believe in, don't talk shit about something until you see it. You can talk shit about something beforehand, like, oh, why they got this person? Why is so-and-so doing this? Then when you see it, it's like, yes, it is worse than I thought. That's what it is. But it does go on to say that, no, I actually enjoyed the movie. This is our Geek Tyrant. It wasn't perfect, but I had fun watching it, and there were a lot of cool moments. That being said, the majority of people I know who did actually see the movie hated it. There we go. So I'm not sure his logic works here. It doesn't. But then he goes on about the most talked about issue surrounding the film, the controversy involving Ezra Miller. This was one of the main things that people hated. You put someone who, Ezra Miller at the time, he had all the crap going on in Hawaii. They did a lot of shit up in Canada. They took a 14-year-old girl and took him with them. It's like, what the hell? Why are you keeping this guy there? He goes, of course we had the publicity crisis with Ezra. That is undeniable, and I'm not questioning that. But yeah, we love the movie, and actually we really recommend it. Well, you would, because you directed it, bud. And while The Flash managed a 63% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, its global box office take of $271.4 million fell far below expectations for a movie meant to reset the DCEU. Now with that, The Flash's budget, if I am correct, was $280 million, which means obviously it was a box office bomb. So if we actually just go over to the Flash's page on, oh look, they've changed it. On Wikipedia, the budget is now 200 to 220 million. Yeah, that one there a couple of months ago when we actually did talk about this. Yeah, it wasn't that. It was around 280 million, same as Captain Marvel's sequel, The Marvels. And obviously, it lost money. Because in order for a movie to actually be successful, what do you need? You need to double the budget. So say 200 million then. Let's just say it is 200 million. 200 million. So it's going to be $400 million just for promotion. You know, people go, oh no, it's never that much. No, it is. The rule of thumb for Hollywood, with what they all tell you, is to break even, it needs to be the budget plus whatever the marketing expenses are, and the marketing expenses are normally double the budget, or 1.5 times the budget. So say, okay, let's just say it's $150 million. It would need to make $700 million just to break even. Just to break even. Because remember, out of that there, cinemas get half. That's what they do. So $270 million is what they made. Warner Brothers and DC would only get back around $136 million. So it's lost a lot of money for Warner Brothers and DC. But yeah, these special effects, for some unknown reason, Andy Muschietti and the others, they were like, oh no, it's meant to be like that. But they're terrible. Especially when the budget is costing that much. Now, we've actually talked about special effects on this channel before, where back in the mid to late 2000s, the CGI was perfect on nearly every film, every big film that used it. For me, I do think that CGI peaked the first Transformers movie and Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. Dead Man's Chest is the pinnacle of CGI. Davy Jones and all his crew, the best CGI ever been done for any movie, ever. It is absolutely flawless. Then you got Avatar as well in 2009, which even back then still beats movies that are being made today with CGI. People will probably go, oh, well, Avatar had a $330 million budget. Look at the Marvel films. A lot of them had $250, $300 million budgets. Hell, Star Wars, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Last Skywalker, they all had over $400 million for their budgets. They look good, but the last one, The Rise of Skywalker, what was that? That looked kind of crap. And it's sad to see, it really is. Because if you're going to make a film which needs CGI, you need to spend as much money as you can on it to make it look incredible. Because that's what people are expecting. You can't cheap out on CGI when you're doing a big event movie. You just can't. With the Batman, the Flash, all of these, if you have a little bit of a budget going towards CGI, the film's going to look crap. The Flash, perfect example. If the CGI in the Flash was better, it would have been amazing. It really would have. And to be honest with you, I don't think people would be giving it as hard of a time as they are. Because, again, the majority of it is Ezra Miller and the CGI. Hell, Corridor Crew, they even did a video on it and they were like, what the hell is this? And what did Nico and all them say at Corridor Crew? We can do it better. And they did. That just goes to show that you need time, you need patience, and to be honest with you, if you're going to use CGI, you need to use it and be like, right, okay, most of the budget, if we need CGI, let's put it to that. That's all it is. But guys, let us know what you think about this down below, because it's 2 years since the movie's come out, and the director is still moaning and crying about it. Which is kind of sad, because Andy Muschietti is a great horror director, and I'm looking forward to his version of, It, the TV series. It's Part 1 and Part 2 are amazing. Then he had to go and do this and be like, oh no, people must like my movie. It's almost like he turned into a big pussy. Let us know down below, folks, what you think of this. My name is Dan, and as always, take care, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.